Coming up on Mountain News at 6, one Eastern Kentucky Sheriff's Department is temporarily closed. We'll tell you why. And one city in Harlan County is facing ongoing issues with their water system.
Plus, we stay dry to close out the work week, but rain chances are looming. The latest coming up as Mountain News at 6 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
An Eastern Kentucky Sheriff's Office is temporarily closed due to limited funding issues. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox tells us what led to this happening.
A special meeting was called by members of the Breathitt County Fiscal Court. One of the issues was funding for the Sheriff's Department.
The sheriff had came to me and told me that he was going to have some money to operate his payroll on through November. And me and him had a conversation, and I told him, I said, as far as the court, we borrowed $2.3 million when we got hit with the flood.
Noble said Sheriff John Holland was asking for $40,000. Holland was not able to attend the meeting, and the court decided to postpone their decision, as recent disasters had made allocating funds difficult.
That's just an issue that we ain't got budgeted to give him any more program support. And everything that we had, it's killed us too financially.
Holland took issue with the court's decision, posting, "The Breathitt County Judge Executive was made aware of this a month ago and gave me his word there was not a problem with the program support money that are requested to make the BCSO payroll." He continued saying, quote, "Judge Noble and I have had several conversations about this, and he assured me the money was not a problem." As a visual protest, the Sheriff's Department has lined up 4 vehicles by the courthouse, and they will remain there until the issue is resolved.
I have talked to DLG today, and I have talked to Kentucky Judge Association too. So, we're setting up meetings to see what has to be done.
Noble said as of early Thursday afternoon, he and Holland had not spoken directly about the issue since it was tabled. Holland said he would soon be returning from a conference in Western Kentucky. In Breathitt County, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Jackson Police and Kentucky State Police will fill the void for the Sheriff's Department for the time being. Authorities say the man at the center of a police investigation and manhunt in Lee County, Virginia, which extended into East Tennessee, has been arrested. Jason Dockery from Knoxville is accused of killing a woman in Anderson County, Tennessee on Tuesday. Investigators say she was in a car with Dockery when he stopped on the side of the road and shot her multiple times. Dockery was captured by the Union County, Tennessee Sheriff's Office. An investigation is underway after a teacher and assistant coach at Belfry High School in Pike County resigned. The Pike County School Superintendent says Nathan Coleman is no longer an employee at Belfry High School following claims of inappropriate behavior. Adkins released a statement today saying in part, quote, "Pike County Schools is aware of the allegations of impropriety against a district employee. Due to the nature of the allegations, several state agencies are involved in this matter. Therefore, we are very limited as to what can be discussed," end quote. Again, that from Dr. Reed Adkins, Pike County Superintendent. You can read his full statement on our website at WYMT.com. In Laurel County, the Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's help finding a tractor that was reportedly stolen. Take a look at it. Officials say a 1970 Massey Ferguson 135 tractor was taken from Laurel Whitley Road in the southern part of the county. If you have any information, you're asked to contact the Sheriff's Office at 606-864-6600. You can remain anonymous. Today, a Fayette County Circuit Court judge sentenced Andrew Buster for the murder of 3-year-old Lillian Grace Reck. The Fayette County Circuit Judge sentenced Buster to 40 years in prison. Prosecutors were originally seeking the death penalty, but Buster was found to have a mental disability, which prevented him from being eligible for the death penalty by state law. Lillian's parents spoke during the hearing.
I begged to the Lord so I could forgive what you've done to some extent, but there ain't none. I can't forgive you for that.
Lillian had done nothing to no one. She was a 3-year-old innocent child.
The prosecution says Buster will be eligible for parole after serving at least 20 years behind bars.
Well, the weather does not get much better for the middle of September. Check out our cameras from London to Hazard to Pikeville. Nothing but blue sky and sunshine. Also very comfortable. Those temperatures in the 70s, dew points in the 40s. That means the air is very dry as we go into this evening, and that will continue into tonight, also into your Friday, as that fall preview does stick around. Up on the radar, we are dry, all thanks to high pressure. That's also going to continue into your Friday, but some changes are ahead as we get into this weekend. Those temperatures right now in the middle to upper 70s, 77 for London, 78 for Manchester, and 71 for Pikeville, also in Clintwood. As we go into tonight, more chilly weather is on the way. Lows in the middle to lower 50s. For most of us, but we are watching out for some areas in the 40s as you wake up on Friday. So once again, giving you that first alert for possibly a light jacket as you wake up and walk out the door on your Friday morning commute. As that fall preview does continue, we are watching out though for some changes by this weekend as more showers are possible, and then some warmer conditions by next week. All those details on the way in just a few minutes. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. The city of Everett has been dealing with an ongoing water issue. Some living in that area say they've gone without water periodically, and officials say they are in need of a new plant. However, they are struggling with funding. WYMT's RJ Johnson has more.
For nearly 2 years, the city of Everett has faced issues regarding its water plant. Chief Water Plant Operator Woodrow Fields says their mine and well supplies have decreased significantly.
The current situation is our mine supply has depleted to just about nothing. It's just putting out about 50 gallons a minute, and we have seen our raw water wells, the levels in those fall down as well, and we're having to compensate for that.
Fields says they have had to insert water pumps into the river that he says will hopefully increase the amount of water well into the winter months.
So with those water levels falling to levels that we've never seen them fall to before, we've had to compensate in some way. So instead of taking weeks to get parts in and many more thousands of dollars to drill a new well, and that may be a hit or a miss, we have installed some pumps in the river to help with the supply to meet the demand.
Avery Ewing lives in Everett, and he says this has impacted every aspect of his life, as well as other people in the area.
I mean, you don't never know if you're going to come home to water. You don't never know when the water's going to be on or when the water's going to be off. Sometimes we'll be without water for days with no advance warning. Sometimes we'll get water for 30 to 40 minutes, a couple hours at a time.
However, Fields says they do not have clarity either. He says he is not sure of the exact reason why they were denied funding.
The numbers that we're looking at is $5 to $7 million. And there's not a loan program out there that's wanting to just give you that amount of money. They want to see that you've got matching funds from some other source, and that gets the ball rolling. If you do get one source on board, that you can get the other sources that you need.
He says they are doing all they can to provide water to the city and surrounding areas. However, they are going to keep pushing to get the money they need. In Everett, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Fields says the weather has also not helped. He says the deep freeze last winter and high temperatures this summer has had an impact on the amount of water they use. The Kentucky Department of Education named the state's new interim commissioner today. Robin Fields Kinney was named to that position. She's the State Department of Education's associate commissioner. She will take over for Commissioner Jason Glass, who will leave his job September 29th. He'll become an associate vice president at Western Michigan University. Health departments and emergency workers throughout Kentucky came together today offering aid in preventing drug overdoses. More than 300 sites in 13 states took part in Appalachian Save a Life Day, including the Somerset Walmart. Free naloxone, also known as Narcan, was handed out by public health workers and emergency medical workers. Health leaders say having quick and easy access to Narcan is important because of the large number of overdoses they are seeing. The fourth Power Up the Pantry, presented by Kentucky Power and WYMT, wrapped up just a short time ago. The goal was to give neighbors a chance to help other neighbors through donating non-perishable food items as well as monetary donations. WYMT's Madison Carmouche has more from the Hazard location.
The food drive supports both God's Pantry and Facing Hunger's food banks stock up for the colder months. Dewan Carey is the food bank and volunteer manager with God's Pantry Food Bank and says the holidays come with tough choices for many families.
That allows people to kind of go to our pantry when they need to kind of fill that gap when they're running low on food, so they don't have to make those really hard choices.
God's Pantry Food Bank works with their nearly 500 community organizations to see their work make a difference.
A big part of what we do is kind of shortening that line between all this food that's available and the people that actually need it.
Food insecurity is not only an issue nationwide, but in this region in particular. And Kentucky Power's Shane Allen says they want to be a part of filling the gap.
We think this is a big problem in our area, so we want to try to stock these food pantries to where no one has to go hungry.
Carey says that their community partners like Kentucky Power help them through advocating, volunteering, and donating.
Kentucky Power is all folks from this area, so we all want to give back to the community as much as we can, and this is just one of the ways that we try to do that every year.
All of the donations from the Power Up the Pantry event will stay local to the areas they were collected in. In Hazard, Madison Carmouche, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, even though it's over for this year, if you're still interested in donating, you can take donations to New Hope Church in Hazard or the God's Pantry Food Bank Center in Prestonsburg.